Hi everyone, Paul from the Performance Department here again with another workout for you guys to do at home. This week's workout is a little bit more strength focused and it does require a small amount of equipment. We'll come back to that in a minute. I'll just talk you through what the session actually contains today. So you'll see here the session contains 3 parts. The first part has an upper body focus, the second part is a lower body focus, and the third part is focused on your trunk. For that first part we're going to do some push-ups. We're going to do a horizontal row, and I'll show you that's where the piece of equipment is going to come in today. I'll show you that shortly. And then we're going to do a Blackbird, which is just a little shoulder health exercise. We're going to do 4 sets of 10 reps of each exercise, and we're going to take a minute's rest at the end of each set. When all of that is done, we're going to move to our lower body segment of the session today. We're going to do some single leg squats to a chair. We're going to do some single leg glute bridge. We're going to do some lateral lunge. Again, we're going to do 4 sets of 10 reps. Important to understand that is 10 reps on each leg, not just 10 reps in total. We're going to take a minute's rest at the end of each set. To finish off, we're going to do some trunk work, some trunk stability and strengthening work. We're going to do some Deadbugs, side planks and BirdDogs. These are 3 fairly reasonably low level but real basic important exercises to be able to master. We're going to do 3 sets of these, 30 seconds on each one. Again, that's 30 seconds on both sides of the side plank. We're going to take 10 seconds as we move from one exercise to the next, and we're just going to cycle through that 3 times without an individual break. Alright, so as mentioned, we're going to do a horizontal row today, and to do that we're going to use a strength band. The easiest way to use this to do a horizontal row is to sit down with your legs straight out in front of you, wrap the strap around the soles of your feet, sit up nice and tall and straight, and just pull your shoulder blades together, bringing your elbows back as you go. It's a really easy way to do it. This strength band is a green strength band. The different strengths and resistances are color coded, and green is about halfway up the scale. What you can also do, some of you might be familiar with these types of resistance bands, where you got multiple colors and they come with a handle at the end that you can clip on. These types of resistance bands will usually come with an attachment like that can just sit over the top of your the door in your room, and you can have the straps hanging off the top of the door and do your row from standing in position. For the purpose of today's session, I'm going to use these straps and I'm going to wrap them around my feet, sit up nice and tall and roll from here. Okay. The other exercises that we're doing are good old-fashioned push-up, which you'll be familiar with from last week's workout. And then our third exercise is a shoulder stability exercise. It's called a Blackbird. We do that from lying down, hands on the base of our back, and just draw the elbows together. Little pause at the top, drop down. So that's our 3 exercises. We're going to go through 4 sets of 10 reps with a minute's rest at the end of each set. Okay, take a minute's rest at the end of those 3 exercises. If you want to make them a little bit harder, for the likes of the push-up, you can go a little bit slower on the way down towards the floor. For the horizontal row, you can be a little bit slower on the way out. You can also add in a pause at the top of that rep. Blackbird, you're just trying to keep your shoulders away from your ears, trying to draw your elbows together. Hopefully you got a little bit better range of motion than I have on that one. Going in 5. Okay, minute's rest again. Should you get a drink of water? Going in 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 1 set left.
Okay, that's the end of the upper body part of the session. We'll move on now to the lower body part of the session.
Okay, for the next part of the session, we're going to move on to our lower body. We're going to do some single leg squats, some single leg glute bridge, which you'll be familiar with from last week's session, and some lateral lunges. We're going to do 4 sets of 10 on each leg and take a minute's rest at the end of each set. The single leg squat, you just set up with a chair, kitchen chair behind you, stand on one leg, just squat down until you touch the chair and then stand back up again. If you want an extra challenge, just increase the depth to which you're working. You can do that by maybe putting something underneath your foot, increase the range, or getting rid of the chair entirely. With your single leg exercises, you might find that your balance or your control is better on one side than the other. It's not unusual. But it's important that you work to keep the effort as even as possible on both sides. With the lateral lunge, it's also important that when you step across, that leg and that side stays flat on the floor, and that foot stays flat on the floor. You can also do that as an alternating leg, going left and go right, then go left and go right. It's up to you. Okay, we're going again in 15 seconds.
Couple more pointers of that lateral lunge. Foot stays flat on the floor and the toes should be pointed pretty much straight in front of you. Not to the side, to the direction that you're moving, but rather more directly in front of you. We're trying to move the hips across and down, keep the torso as upright as we can. We're trying to avoid it's coming across and then your chest fall onto our knee. Alright. Going again 15 seconds. 10 seconds. And we go again. Last round of lower body work. Okay, so for the last part of the session, we're going to work on trunk or core stability. We're going to do some dead bugs, side planks, and bird dogs. Dead bugs are completed while lying on your back. We're looking to keep our back nice and flat and controlled as we extend one leg at a time. There is harder versions of this, such as moving an opposite arm, opposite leg. But for today, I'd encourage you to just stick with moving your leg, one leg at a time. Trying to breathe out as you, on the effort. Second exercise is side plank. You'll be familiar with the version we did last week in our workout, which is from the knee. You can also make it more difficult by holding your top knee open. There's also the full length version where you go all the way down to your feet. If you're not familiar with the exercises, I'd encourage you to go from your knee as a starting point, go to there as a second position, and then once you're confident with both of those positions, go to the full length. Third exercise is a bird dog, which we start on our hands and knees. Again, we're going to try and keep our back as flat as we can, get that nice neutral position. And on this one, we're going to go opposite arm, opposite leg. And what we're looking for is to avoid falling into an arch, and also to avoid rotation. If you find that you can't avoid both of those outcomes, just go with a leg and leave your hands underneath your shoulders. side plank. I'm going to do all 3 variations as we cycle through the rounds, just so you can see clearly what I mean. Off we go. Make sure that you're pushing down through that shoulder, that you're not hanging or sagging to the shoulder, you're staying nice and strong. Done. 10 seconds rest and we move on to the other side. 2, 1. Seconds. Done. Okay, 10-second rest as we move into the bird dog. Again in the first round, we go leg only. Back onto our dead bugs again. Again, I'd encourage you to stick with leg only variation of this for today. Here we go. Seconds. Up under a side plank, second variation of the knee up. Seconds done. Other side. BirdDog. So I'm going to do the arm and leg variation. Okay, and last time around, Deadbugs. Here we go. another side plank. I'm going to go with the full length version. You can go feet on top of each other or one foot in front of the other. Make references for feet on top. Shape now. Okay, over to the other side. Last time with BirdDogs. Alright, so that's the session over. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a good sweat up like I did. Nice warm spare room helps with that. Keep an eye out on our social media channels over the next couple of weeks as we continue to post more workouts for you. If you've got particular types of workouts that you'd like us to do a video on, please feel free to let us know and we'll see if we can fit them in. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, continue to follow those social distancing and hand washing guidelines. You can see from the numbers that are coming out over the last couple of days, they appear to be making a difference. So stick with it, guys.